So this is a bit of a different video. Obviously I'm on the couch. Well, I've still got a couch. I'm on the couch. And yeah, it's kind of like led by comments from yourselves and some feedback and just general kind of feelings on videos that I make and the kind of like ideas that people seem to get from what I'm saying. So when I make a video, I've got either one of two things in mind. Either I want to maybe help people to do what it is I'm doing. So for example, that might be, doing a bit of wiring or building something in the campervan or fixing something in the campervan. So my idea behind it is the way of recording it so that it's educational, if you like, so people can watch it and go, right, okay, I know how to do that now, or I roughly know what it is John's saying, and I can, extrapolate what he's done into something that I need to do. And that's kind of like my first thought on that type of video. And then I set out what I want to do. And keep into context, that kind of thing. I need to kind of make people aware of the fact that I never really say I'm qualified, and I certainly never use the word professional, simply because in my view, a professional is someone who does something, they're good at it, and they get paid to do it as a job. So an airline pilot, yep, they're a professional. A GP, they're a professional. A guy who comes and paints your house, but actually is a fireman as his day job, he's not a professional, even though you paid him. And that's the kind of thing that I'm always trying to portray in my videos. I'm not a professional, and at best I might be confident and competent, and at worst I might be showing you how not to do something. And that's pretty much as honest as I can get. And I hope that that comes across, because what I don't ever want to do is portray what I'm doing as the only way, the factual way, or anything else in the terms of you must follow what it is I'm doing, or, and this is kind of like what's kind of led to some part of this video, or that makes other people think, oh my God, I can't do that. How's John do all that kind of stuff? And that's kind of like what's prompted me a little bit on this video today, is when people say that. The second, obviously, part of when you make a video is to, the fun bit, like we go on meetups, or I'll go and, we go out for the day, or I'll test some weird gadget and end up, getting an injury. And no, I'm not intending to get many more injuries if you don't mind. I've not particularly found it to be fun, although you found it to be entertaining. So yeah, there's a balance there. No pain, no gain, I guess, is that one. If you find it entertaining, that's okay-ish. Yeah, I'll accept a little bit of that being all right, but I don't want to be doing that every week. But it's this kind of thing that, you set out to make a video, and there are certain things, like there are a lot of channels that start off where all they ever do is set out to explain something. And if you remember, this channel was created or kind of extrapolated from the main channel more because of the stuff we were doing with the campervan. And I guess this channel, just like a lot of the other channels, starts out as, look what I'm doing to make my campervan, and then you go out and do stuff. After you've created all these things, whether people are still as interested or not, I guess depends on you and what you get up to, because maybe most of the time people are interested in what it was that you were doing. And that's why I try and mix it up a lot on this channel. So there's not loads of instructional stuff, and there's not loads of, us going out and having a jolly kind of stuff. And again, it all kind of boils down to the fact that I don't ever want to portray a thing of like, oh, you got to go and do this, or oh, look what we're doing, or anything like that. And I'm not saying this in terms of like I've been rattled by comments or anything like that. I've not. And I'm not saying it in a negative way of saying, you know, like, oh, well, someone said this and I had to argue against them or anything like that, because I've not really had to do that either. It's not really a negative video at all. If anything, what I'm trying to say to you lot is, and I don't know how to explain it. I'll say it, and then you can take it in any way you want to take it from that. But if I can do it, so can you. And I can't put it any more simpler than that. If I can do it, so can you. And I say that with absolute conviction and sincerity as well, because, well, look at me. I'm not like Mr. Bodybuilder, you know, kind of like athlete or anything like that. I'm just a bloke and I just go out and do things. And the crux of it is, I'm a firm believer in, I would rather do something myself, or at least try. You know, I'm not saying I can do everything. There's certainly a lot of things I never kind of like get past the trying stage and then go, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do it well, or I'm not going to do it safely, or whatever. There are other people that can do this better. So that's kind of like, you know, where I start off. But I wanted to go through how I start that kind of process, because a lot of you are saying, wow, John, you know, is there anything you can't do? And I kind of read that and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not special. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing different about me than you. Unless you've got, you know, some sort of, you know, disability in the way that you physically can't hold a spanner or wire things together, like you're colorblind and you need help with things like that, or like I say, some sort of physical disability, then there's no difference between me and you. I am actually blind in one eye, so that kind of like, you know, is one little thing I've got that I can say, you know, that's never stopped me. I am not the, like I say, the most athletic of people, and that's never stopped me. I've got no hair, that's never stopped me. I just crack on with stuff. And no matter what it is, I believe that a lot of it, you know, the average person can do. Don't forget, like I started off in the video saying, that a lot of people that you consider to be professional are just people that have learned how to do what they do well enough to get paid and to be competent at that. And yeah, and I think you're just as capable as that as you think I am. So, you know, a few examples of that. Let's say some of the more recent videos I've done that people are quite, you know, kind of finding quite interesting and helpful. My wiring videos about batteries, solar panels, 12-volt wiring, that kind of stuff. I am not an auto electrician, and in every video I say that. However, it's quite easy to pick up on the fact that electricity flows and you need a place to store it, and you have appliances that use it and wires connect in between. So you simplify every task to be that. You then modify that task to say, this appliance needs more power. That means the cable has to be thicker to supply that power. And at this end, the power's got to be sufficient to, you know, make all that happen. So in every case, you modify everything you're doing from the simple things and then just step them up a little bit, rather than thinking, how am I going to wire, you know, 32 bulbs, 12 switches, 18 appliances over, you know, kind of 300 meters of cable, because that sounds scary. But each little task doesn't. And if you break those tasks down, you simplify the whole process one at a time, and then you get the job done. Same with something like, I don't know, making a bed in a van and readjusting it. Measure it, cut it, you know, measure a few times if you're like me. Cut it, make it fit to how you want to make fit. Adapt things, take what you've seen, adapt them to make them to be suitable for you. Not everything you see is you know, sort of fixed. So for example, I think a lot of you would agree that Greg's workshop videos are fantastic. So Greg Virgo, if you've not checked him out, go do so. And his workshop videos are fantastic. But don't think you need a workshop, and don't think that what Greg built in his van wouldn't work in, you know, any other van. He's giving you the information in that video like I give the information in my videos to what we're doing at that moment in time and how we're doing it, so that you can take that information and adapt it. So I think what Greg did in his workshop's amazing and his van looks amazing, and I tell him that, and he says, yeah, but anyone can do it. And that's kind of like what I'm saying to you now. Anyone can do it. You can do it just like I did it. You just break the steps down into manageable little chunks. And I guess a couple of things more recently, videos that I've done, where people have said, no way would have done that. And one is an exceptional one, and that's taking a day, a full 12-hour day, without breaks at all, to vinyl wrap the van, because I wanted the van vinyl wrapped. And I break down my reasoning to do things myself into probably 2 or 3 categories. Number one, if I do it, I don't have to take it somewhere, leave my van somewhere and try and find a way back, or be without the van for a while, or worry about whether everything inside it I'm going to get back when they've done it there and all that kind of stuff. Or even think, are they going to do it really well? The second part about it is, related to a little bit the front one, or the first one, sorry, is the second part is money. So I'm going to pay them a certain amount of money. As you pay someone to do something, their skills and their knowledge and their time are what you're paying for 99% of the time. And you've then got to trust that they're going to do the best job possible. And then after you've paid them, your hope is that they have done the best job possible and you've found no fault with it whatsoever. And what I'm finding more recently is people don't generally put in as best effort as they can. People generally put in enough effort to get the job done, to get the money, and then they're off onto the next job. Which kind of brings me back to, reason number one of I'd rather do it myself then. But anyway, stepping forward, reason number 3 usually is it feasible for me to do? So can I buy the parts myself? Have I got the tools to do it? Can I do it? Am I physically able to do it on my own or whatever? And if all those three things work out, then that's great. And vinyl wrapping the van was an example of that one. Buying the vinyl wrap, I can do that. Did I have the skills to do it? No. But I have vinyl wrap furniture before in the office. And I looked online. I did a bit of a Google and YouTube, watch videos, and thought, it doesn't look too difficult. And then I spent 12 hours teaching myself and then doing a van. And the end result is okay. As I said at the time, if I'd have paid a professional, I'd have asked them to tweak a few bits. But as it is, a lot of people have seen my van now, and you've seen the vinyl wrap and everything. And a lot of people who know about stuff like that have come up and said, that's an all right job, that. And that's what I think about it. It's an all right job. Everyone can pick holes in other people's work, especially if you think you could have done it better. And I possibly could have done a few bits better. And I might change it in future. I've got some vinyl wrap spare, so I might, especially around the seams of the van at the back and things like that, where it didn't quite work going over the seam between the panels, I think I will cut that and do that again. So I've got spare vinyl that I can actually do that. So don't ever worry about the fact that people will maybe find fault in what you've done, and maybe kind of like say, oh yeah, well, if I'd have done that, I'd have done it this way and it'd have been better. Because, well, I think we've all got our own ways of doing things, and I think it's all right to do that way. I think if the job gets done the way that it needs to be done, so like I say, it's safe, it does exactly what you need it to do, and you feel happy about it, then great, job done. That's it. And then like another video that I've done quite recently is the leaf springs on the van. And that's probably the most extreme of all the jobs, really, because that was changing a big component of the van, like the leaf springs. And a lot of people there again said, oh, well, I would have never taken on tasks. How come you know all this stuff and things like that? And again, it's back to the wiring thing, or it's back to the vinyl wrap thing. If you break it down into those tasks of, can you do it? Can you get the parts? Are you able to do it? with a bit of research or something else, then, you know, I think you can do it. So don't ever think you should sit there and always have to pay for someone to do it, or worse than that, say, I can't actually do that. I can't get that done because I can't afford to pay someone and I can't do it myself. I guess the only limiting factor sometimes is tools. And to do the leaf spring job, I borrowed some tools to do that because, as you know, we'd sold everything in the house and I have a limited tool set. In fact, you've seen a video of my tool set, so you know, like, the limited tool set. So if you watch on a video of like the leaf springs, the jack, the axle stand, and some of the parts I was using were borrowed, strangely enough, from the people that have bought my stuff. So everything you saw in the video was my stuff 6 months ago. It's somebody else's stuff now, but I've borrowed it back to do the job. And that's just kind of like the way it is sometimes. I think it's all right to borrow things. I think I said that in one of my videos about my tools. If you are, you know, if we're at a meetup and you want to cut a hole in the side of your van and you haven't got the tools, then I've got a jigsaw in the back of my van. You can borrow it to cut a hole in your van, because then you've got the tools, you know, everyone's around you to maybe help you to do it, and you've got the opportunity to do it there and then or whatever. And that's what I really wanted to break this video down to, is just to say, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I really, 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 really can't stress that enough. So, yeah, it's a strange thing to make videos and to think, you know, like, I want to make this video because I've not seen anybody else make a video about this before. And sometimes I get a comment saying, have you seen this person's video? He did the same as you. And you think, no, I didn't do that. It didn't come up in the search results or whatever when I look for it. So you go and watch their video and then you think, yeah, they did a video about it, but they didn't explain anything about it. There was no explanation. Say, for example, the leaf spring video, I couldn't find any explanation about the dismantling of it at all, and certainly nothing about the reassembly and the positioning of things and how it all goes back together and stuff like that. So yes, other people have made videos, but if I make a video, it's normally because I feel that no one else has made a video and explained each process. And I'm not a teacher. I know a lot of you say, you know, like, my videos are really well explained or whatever, but I'm not a teacher. And the way I explain it is if I was to kind of try and teach somebody else to do it. So, for example, you know, if I couldn't use my hands, but I could watch, how would I explain to somebody how to do something? And I've got really good at this because Mandy beats me out, kind of like, you're not explaining it well. Use your words, John. And yeah, so she's beating it into me now that, you know, I have to explain things well so that everyone else can understand what's going on up in the old grey matter noggin area. So hopefully that does come across in my videos. And hopefully the bit that you understand about this video now is that we are no different. You are able to watch videos, learn. If you've got a basic tool set, or, you know, somebody else has, you can then do most of the jobs that I show. Or you've got things that you want to do, maybe that are not explained by anybody else on the internet. Go make a video about it. There are tons of people out there that are making videos about all sorts of stuff that no one else has done before. And I think that's the beauty about YouTube, is that you have the opportunity to make a video, whether it's riding a one wheel, and however that might turn out, whether it's wiring a camper van, whether it's installing a solar panel, vinyl wrapping a van, you know, bodyboarding for the first time, whatever it might be. You know, other people are out there making videos about what they like. So you should make videos about what you like as well, especially if you think it's going to give something back to other people, like the van community or just anybody in general, really. So that's a very different video for this channel, is to not show a camper van, not mention really kind of like much about what we're doing or anything like that. Mandy's not even here. Mandy's at work. Cooper's here, but he is fast asleep on the sofa. And there's no food or gammon or anything like that. And there's no other YouTubers or people we're not in a field. It's quite strange, really, because that's normally my checklist for videos. So maybe we just end it there then.